Hello and welcome back to Inside the Man Cave for another episode of my Time Magazine Star Wars collection. In this episode, we are looking at my final Star Wars Time Magazine special that it's got to do with Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and this was dated from May 9th, 2005. So yeah, we get to have an inside look of the final Star Wars. Well, they said it, the last Star Wars, which we now know it's not the last Star Wars. But in this, they've said, we've seen it, it's darker, scary, and better. There's a Q&A with George Lucas, reveals all, and plus the Star Wars family tree. So we're going to also go through what else is in the book as well, but a big focus, of course, on the Star Wars Time Magazine content. So after a couple of ads, we've got, again, the table of contents. There's a big Anakin Skywalker picture right there. There's a bit of the Star Wars family tree, interview with George Lucas, and there's also a bit on China and a bit on the UK Prime Minister at the time, Tony Blair. We've got a section here on Tony Blair, the UK Prime Minister, I think on his final term as the Prime Minister. And continuing with the UK politics, we also have this cool Time Magazine ad where you can receive a portable TV if you order in now. So that's pretty cool. Here's a little section here on World War II, on the 60th anniversary of Hitler's end. Here we have a really detailed look at Hong Kong's harbour and a little bit of history about it. This is an interesting mix with faith and frat boys. We've got a section more on business, and a look at this crazy different kind of car here. And finally, we are at the Star Wars section with the Dark Side Rising, with a really great image of Obi-Wan and Anakin mid-fight. So I will try and get as much of this as possible, and yeah, you can pause the video and read it if you like. But yeah, try to get as most of this really cool. I think the Time magazines have done a really great job in these Star Wars sections, so I think yet again another fantastic image. So at first we've got a really great image of Yoda in that final fight with Darth Sidious, and then we've also got Obi-Wan and Padme and C-3PO. So I'll get this article as best I can, and you are welcome to read it. And the article continues over the page. We've got a really cool look at Darth Sidious and Mace Windu, and then the clones and Grievous. I'll go through the interview as well. And there's the Star Wars numbers, which sort of can relate to Revenge of the Sith. And then they've also got things to watch for. So they said the return side of Jar Jar Binks. So yeah, it wasn't too bad though, don't worry. But yeah, I'll get through a little of this article for you guys. Next, we have the Star Wars Family Tree Episode 3 edition. So they've done it in the last couple of issues with the Family Tree, which is really cool. So yeah, we've got the Padme and Mandela section there. Then we go over to Luke and Leia, how they're connected. And then you've got a really cool image of Vader and Anakin in the middle. That's really cool. Emperor Palpatine through the years. And you can look at the other villains. And of course we've got the droids, the heroic aliens, and of course Obi-Wan Kenobi. So it's a really cool, and then you've also got like Anakin as well. So it's a pretty cool image of the Star Wars family tree. And now we've got the interview with George Lucas, a look back in wonder, the director and creator of Star Wars. And we come to the end of the Star Wars section with a viewpoint here on how Star Wars saved my life. So that's really cool. So I'll get this interview as well. And the final section, we have the essay section that's always usually at the end, and then another ad, and then over the page, another ad, and then we are done with the last Star Wars Time Magazine Revenge of the Sith edition, and my last one as well. So I've got episode 1, 2, and 3. It's cool look back, and they also to interview George Lucas, and some of the images they have are really great. Like they're literally outstanding how clear these images are. But and I definitely love the cover. You have to put Vader in, even though Darth Vader is at the very end of the Revenge of the Sith, but he's a pinnacle moment in Star Wars history. So there we have the Time Magazine for Revenge of the Sith.